The cast of Wednesday Season 2 looks perfect and different when they are on screen, but actually that perfection doesn't come at ease. They have to follow a lot of rules in order to get that flawless result we all see in the final episodes. These rules are much tougher than most people can imagine, and many of us would probably not even last a day doing them. But for the cast, it's an everyday requirement from the moment the cameras start rolling until the day shooting wraps up. They push themselves constantly to meet these standards so that every scene comes out exactly how the directors and producers envision it. So, what are these rules, and just how difficult are they to follow? Let's uncover everything in detail and see the kind of dedication and discipline it takes to bring Wednesday Season 2 to life. One of the first and most surprising rules involves Emma Myers, who plays Enid. While most actors simply put on the costumes they're given, Emma was deeply involved in her own wardrobe decisions. This wasn't about personal fashion taste, but about ensuring her character's clothing perfectly matched her personality and story arc. Emma worked closely with the costume department, discussing fabrics, colors, and styles to make sure everything reflected Enid's vibrant and energetic nature. This level of involvement meant she often had to attend additional fittings, provide feedback, and try on multiple outfits before the right look was finalized. It's not as easy as it sounds because the filming schedule was already packed, and these wardrobe sessions sometimes happened after long shooting hours. But this effort paid off because every detail of Enid's clothes helped reinforce her personality and made her stand out even more on screen. Then there's Victor Dorobantu, who plays Thing, the disembodied hand. This role might look fun and quirky, but it comes with one of the toughest requirements: being incredibly flexible. Since Thing is just a hand, Victor often has to contort his body into uncomfortable positions so that his hand can be filmed from the correct angle without the rest of him appearing on screen. Also, he had to wear a blue suit completely covered his body except his hand. Sometimes this meant hiding under tables, squeezing into tight spaces, or lying in awkward positions for long stretches of time. Even the slightest movement in the wrong way could ruin the shot. On top of that, Victor had to make Thing feel like a living, breathing character. That means giving a hand a full range of emotions, whether it's excitement, fear, or frustration, just through movement and finger gestures. For Catherine Zeta-Jones, who plays Morticia Addams, the rules were a bit different but still strict. Due to her busy schedule and various business commitments outside of Wednesday, there was a specific rule put in place regarding her availability on set. The production team had to work around her limited time, meaning her scenes were often packed tightly together during specific blocks of filming. This required everyone involved, directors, other cast members, and crew, to be prepared and perfectly organized so they could get everything they needed from Catherine without wasting a single minute. It also meant Catherine had to be completely ready to step into character instantly, no matter what was happening around her. There was no room for warm-ups or slow starts. The moment she arrived, she had to be Morticia at her very best. Another unique and well-known rule from Season 1 carried over into Season 2 for Jenna Ortega as Wednesday: the no blinking rule. So actually, Jenna Ortega accidentally didn't blink during filming one day. Tim Burton liked it so much that it became a rule for the entire shoot. And that's how her character never blinks on screen. This rule is exactly what it sounds like. Whenever Wednesday is on screen, Jenna is not allowed to blink. This adds to the character's unsettling presence, but it's extremely hard to do. Try staring straight ahead for even 30 seconds without blinking, and you'll understand how uncomfortable it can get. Jenna had to train herself to keep her eyes open during takes, even when bright lights, wind machines, or long dialogue scenes made it almost unbearable. Sometimes scenes had to be redone if a blink slipped in, which put even more pressure on her. Posture and movement were another big part of the rules. The actors had to maintain very specific body language to match their characters. For Wednesday, that meant perfectly straight posture and deliberate, minimal movements. She never slouches, never fidgets, and her gestures are slow and controlled. On the other hand, Enid's posture is open, bouncy, and full of energy. For characters like Morticia, it's all about graceful, gliding movements, almost like she's floating. These requirements might seem small, but keeping them consistent across hours of filming takes a lot of mental focus. Emma Myers had an additional rule that made her role even harder, maintaining high energy at all times. Enid is a bright, upbeat character who always seems cheerful, so Emma had to keep that energy level up even during long shooting days that could last 12 to 14 hours. That means smiling, talking quickly, reacting enthusiastically, and bouncing around in scenes, often while wearing costumes and shoes that weren't exactly comfortable. The tricky part is that filming is rarely done in order, so Emma could go from shooting a tired, emotional scene in one moment to immediately switching into an energetic, happy one in the next. This emotional gear shifting is mentally exhausting, but she pulled it off so that Enid's personality would shine through in every episode. Many of the cast members also had to perform their own stunts. Even though body doubles were available, most young cast members performed their own stunt work for authenticity, which is another rule that adds a whole different level of difficulty. Whether it was running, jumping, fighting, or even just reacting to special effects in real time, the actors often had to do these things themselves instead of relying on doubles. This not only made the scenes feel more authentic, but also meant the cast had to stay in top physical shape throughout the production. Some of the stunts required multiple takes, so the actors had to repeat physically demanding moves over and over until the director was satisfied. Safety crews were always on hand, but the physical strain was still real, especially during outdoor shoots in cold or rainy conditions. Also during filming, most crew members followed a strict daily routine, starting with waking up at 4:30 a.m. every shooting day. They had less than an hour to get ready before pickup, followed by hours spent in hair and makeup, blocking scenes, and filming for 12-hour days. After that, they would continue with stunt practice, finally returning home by 8 p.m. Giving Thing a personality was another rule that might sound fun, but was actually a lot of work. Since Thing can't speak, Victor Dorobantu had to communicate everything through movement. That meant coming up with distinct body language for a hand, how it walks, how it points, how it reacts when it's scared, and how it shows affection. This required endless rehearsal and trial and error to make sure the audience could instantly understand what Thing was thinking or feeling without any dialogue. It's almost like learning a new language made entirely of finger movements, and Victor had to master it for every scene. Exposure to fears was something else the cast had to deal with, though it wasn't an official rule in the sense of being written down. Some scenes involved working with creepy props, strange costumes, or filming in dark, claustrophobic sets. For example, certain sequences required the actors to be surrounded by insects, work with realistic-looking monsters, or film in cold, damp environments. Even if the actors were uncomfortable or scared, they had to stay in character and deliver their lines as if it were just another day in the Addams family's world. Over time, they got used to these challenges, but it still took a lot of mental toughness to push through the initial discomfort. So, with all these strict rules in place, it's clear that the cast of Wednesday Season 2 had to push themselves far beyond what most people would ever imagine. But now we want to know what you think. Out of all these rules, which one do you feel would be the hardest to follow, and which one do you think you could handle easily? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more updates just like this.